All right, this lesson, this is Unit 5, Lesson 4. This is going to cover the retrieval and the ready and the go, which essentially is pages 26, 27, 28, and 29, which 28 is blank. So I'm going to give you a quick heads up on how to do this. And it says, identify each quadrilateral as a parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, square, or none of these. If you're not sure what a parallelogram is or how to describe it, Google it. A rectangle, Google it. A rhombus, Google it. Square, Google it. Right? You can't Google none of the above because none of the above is none of the above. But you have to think about what each of these are. What do you know about a parallelogram? Most of us know that a parallelogram has two sets of parallel sides. Great, that's it. Or opposite sides are congruent. Right? So when you look at this, it ought to be easy. One ought to be easy. One is a parallelogram. Right? So that's pretty self-explanatory what you need to do with those ones. All right? None of the above. Down here you have to list all that apply. So this is where it gets pretty tricky. List each quadrilateral as a trapezoid. And I missed that one actually. So a trapezoid. What does a trapezoid look like? If you're not sure, Google, what does a trapezoid look like? What is a trapezoid? I can tell you number one, which I'm going to cover, is not a trapezoid. Okay? Number one, is it a parallelogram? Well, does it have two sets of parallel sides? Does it have two sets of opposite sides congruent? Yes, so it would be a parallelogram. Is it a rectangle? Well, how do you identify what a rectangle is? We had a discussion in class about how we know that something is a rectangle. It's telling me right here this is a 90-degree angle. So if this is a 90-degree angle, these two sides are the same, that means this is a 90-degree angle, that's a 90-degree, that's a 90-degree. It is a rectangle. Is it a rhombus? Well, if you're not sure what a rhombus is, go back and look at what the definition of a rhombus is. I'm going to tell you, it is not a rhombus. A square, could this be a square? No, it can't be, because geometrically it tells us the symbols that these two opposite sides are not the same. And you know that a square has all sides the same, so it's not a square. Or none of these. Well, I've picked two, so it can't be none. You must list it all that apply. All right, so do the best you can with the rest of these in 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, if you need to, refer back to this page. All right, that should help you out. And then lastly, told you 28 was blank. This one, I'm going to show you 5. For each pair of triangles, write a congruence statement. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is write a congruence statement. I need to justify by identifying the congruence pattern used. So it wants a congruence pattern. So I need a statement, a congruence pattern. That's going to be easy. And it says, then justify that the angles are congruent by connecting the corresponding vertices of the pre-image to the image. So we got a couple of new things. A couple of new things that we're going to discuss here. Drawing, go here. We got pre-image and image. We should know what those are. All right? So the first things first, I'm going to write a congruent statement. So I'm going to say triangle, and you can start anywhere you want. I'm just going to start at C, go to D, and then B. So CDB is congruent to triangle EFG. Say it in a corresponding fashion. Triangle EFG. Right? There's my congruence statement. Now it wants my congruence pattern. We'll go back. Look at what you know. I know S, 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 S. Remember, S for side, A for angle, and we have 3 of those statements. We have SSS. Hopefully you can see this on the. I'll draw this. SSS. We have SAS and ASA. Those are our congruence statements. So which statement is this one going to be? Obviously it's SSS. There's my congruence statement and my congruence pattern. Then justify by drawing a line from the pre-image to the image. Well, the pre is the one before, the image is the one after. This doesn't do a very good job of it because it's using all different letters, but usually the one on the left is the before, the one on the right is after. And how am I going to do this? I'll use orange here and see if this shows up. C corresponds to E, so I'm going to draw a line from C to E. B corresponds to G. D corresponds to F. Now if we do this correct, and my lines are a little off, what we should notice, all right, what we should notice, and this is the last thing here I'm going to help you with, what we should notice is that the lines are parallel. Notice the symbol for parallel, right? The lines are parallel. They will never cross. So this basically, it's transferred or slid from one place to the other. It's had a certain transformation. So you need to go through and do the other three that way as well. That is what we are working on in class. If you have any questions, again, go back, pause, review, and please ask questions if you need to.